All right, welcome. Today, we're diving deep, right into the engine room of what makes a business truly excellent. We're going to unpack the leadership and training strategies that really fuel total quality management, and, more importantly, how you can use them to build an organization that performs at a high level consistently. So, let's just ask the big question right up front. What is the secret? Why do some companies just knock it out of the park for their customers every single time, while others feel like they're just constantly putting out fires? It is a huge challenge, but the good news is there's a proven philosophy, a playbook to guide the way, and we're going to break it all down. Okay, first things first. Before we get into the how to build this amazing quality culture, we've got to be absolutely crystal clear on the what. So let's lay the foundation and define what total quality actually means when the rubber meets the road. Now, notice the key word here isn't project or toolkit. It's philosophy. That's huge. TQM isn't a quick fix. It's a total mindset shift for the entire company, and it's all about playing the long game. It's built around making the customer happy, getting every single employee in on the action, and, this is critical, never ever thinking you're done improving. And this whole philosophy stands on 6 really powerful pillars. See, everything orbits around the customer. That's our North Star. Everyone, and I mean everyone, from the CEO down to the newest person on the front line, is part of the quality journey. And every big decision, it's backed by cold, hard data, not just a gut feeling. These are basically our signposts for the whole journey. Look, we're standing on the shoulders of giants here. Thinkers like Deming, Duran, and Crosby. These guys were the architects of this whole thing. Deming, he pushed for a culture without fear, making it the leader's job to create safety. Duran focused on management's role in creating real breakthroughs. And Crosby, he gave us this incredibly powerful idea of aiming for 0 defects. And when you put all their ideas together, you get a simple, powerful formula. Committed leadership plus great training equals excellence. Period. And that formula brings us right to the heart of this explainer, what I'm calling the synergy loop. I want you to think of this as the powerful, self-reinforcing engine that drives the whole TQM system forward. It's what gives it its power. So here's how this engine actually works. It's this beautiful, continuous cycle. First, leaders provide the spark, the vision, the resources, the why. That spark fuels the training, which builds real, tangible skills in your employees. Then, those newly skilled employees go out and make the processes better. And finally, this is the magic part. When the numbers prove it's working, fewer defects, happier customers, it just reinforces the leader's commitment. And the whole loop just spins faster and faster, accelerating excellence. All right, so let's break that loop down piece by piece, starting with the catalyst. How exactly do leaders light that fire and make the quality mission real for every single person in the organization? Well, it has to start at the very, very top. Quality is not something you can delegate. It demands visible, unapologetic sponsorship from senior leadership. And this isn't just about a poster on the wall. It's about making quality a non-negotiable strategic priority. It's about opening up the budgets and relentlessly communicating, this is how we do things here.
So how do they make it real day to day? Well, they weave quality into the very DNA of the company. They build it right into the strategic plan. They turn that big vision into measurable targets for the next quarter. They tie quality performance directly to bonuses and promotions, and they just never ever shut up about it. Now this might just be the most important job a leader has in TQM. They have to build a culture of psychological safety, a place where any employee at any level can raise their hand and say, hey, I see a problem, without any fear of being blamed or punished. Because you see, when you get rid of that fear, you unlock this incredible flood of honest, real-time information. It lets you find the root cause of a problem so much faster because the focus completely shifts from blaming a person to fixing the process. And that is a total game changer. And look, this isn't just talk. Great leaders show their commitment through what they do. They go to the Gemba, the actual place where the work happens, to see it for themselves and ask questions. They give employees real power, like the authority to stop a whole production line if something's wrong. And they totally redesign the reward systems to celebrate teamwork and preventing problems, not just hitting output numbers. Okay, so leadership provides the spark, but a leader's vision is only as good as the team's ability to actually pull it off. That brings us to the other half of our synergy loop, training. This is the powerful engine that actually drives the change. And let's be clear. We are not talking about some boring one-off seminar that everyone forgets in a week. No way.
In TQM, training is a continuous learning architecture. Think of it as a layered, ongoing system that's designed to build specific skills at every single level of the company, and it literally never stops.
So what does a world-class training system actually look like? Well, first, the content is tailor-made, because what an engineer needs to learn is totally different from what a sales rep needs. Second, it's hands-on. People learn by doing, through simulations or on real projects, not by snoozing through a lecture. Third, it uses coaches after the class is over to make sure the new skills actually stick. And finally, you measure everything to prove that the training is actually making a difference to quality and customer happiness. All right, let's zoom back out. We've got the leadership catalyst, and we've got the training engine. But what does this whole machine actually produce? It's time to connect the dots and talk about the ultimate payoff, the real, tangible results this system delivers. This right here is the magic of TQM. It is not a trade-off. It is a triple win. When you relentlessly focus on making your quality better, your number of defects plummets. That, in turn, directly leads to lower costs because you have less waste and less rework. And what happens when you deliver a higher quality product at a lower cost? Well, your customers get really, really happy, and your Net Promoter Score just goes through the roof. That is a seriously powerful competitive advantage. But here's the thing. As amazing as those numbers are, they're just the output. The real prize, the true end goal, is captured perfectly in this quote. It's about fusing that leadership commitment with employee capability to create something much bigger and much more permanent, a truly resilient quality culture.
And that culture, that becomes your most durable competitive edge. This is the whole shebang. A great quality culture can survive shifts in the market, it can survive changes in leadership, it can survive new technology. It's an asset that's rooted in how your people think and work together, and your competitors simply cannot copy it overnight.
Which really leaves us with one final powerful question to think about. I want you to look at your own organization. Is your culture an engine that's driving you toward excellence? Or is it the very thing that's holding you back? Because the answer to that question will define your future.